Place. Symmetry is always fascinating to the human mind. Everyone likes to symmetrical things in some way. But the problem of defining symmetry is an interesting one, and we already noted that Weil gave a good definition. A thing is symmetrical if there's something you can do to it so that after you've done it, it looks the same as it did before. For example, a symmetrical vase is of such a kind that if you reflect it or if you turn it, it'll look the same as it did before. And note, we'd have used that idea, that definition, that abstract definition in physics to mean that the subject then of our discourse today is what we can do to the physical phenomena or the physical situation in an experiment and yet leave the result the same. I'll give a number of illustrations. We've already had some of them. The first will be, for example, translation in space. If we do an experiment in a certain region and then build another apparatus in another place in space, or move the original over here, and whatever went on in the one apparatus in a certain order in time, click, clack, so on, if you've arranged the other one, restrictions that we mentioned before, that all of those features of the environment which make it not behave the same way is also moved over, and we talked about the problem of defining how much we should include under those circumstances, but I won't go into those details again. In the same way, we believe today also that a displacement in time will have no effect on our physical laws. That is as far as we know today. All these things are as far as we know today. That means that if we build a certain apparatus and start it at a certain time on Thursday at 10 a.m., and then build the same apparatus and start it, say, 3 days later in the same condition, that the behaviors as a function of time will occupy the same times and go through the same motions in exactly the same way no matter what the time is. Provided, of course, again, that the relevant features of the environment are also modified at time appropriately. That just means, of course, that if you bought General Motors 3 months ago, the same thing would happen if you buy it now. Now, we have to watch out that geographical not work the same way. Just the magnetic field is different, but we say that that's associated with the Earth. And we then imagine if we move the whole Earth and the equipment that it would make no difference. Another thing that we discussed in considerable detail was rotations in space. That if you turn an apparatus at an angle, it works just as well, provided you turn everything else along with it that's relevant. And this was the basis of vector analysis. In fact, that's where we discussed the most detail. The problem of rotation and symmetry under rotation in space, and we invented a mathematical system called vector analysis to handle it as quickly as possible. On a more advanced level, we had another symmetry, which was the symmetry under uniform velocity in a straight line. That is to say, around the Rockwell effect, that if you have a piece of apparatus working in a certain way, you take the same apparatus, put it in a small or something, and move the whole car. All the relevant. The uniform velocity in a straight line, then as far as the denominator inside the car is there ain't no apparent difference. All the laws is the same. And we even know more technically how to express that, and that is that the mathematical equations of the physical laws must be unchanged under a Lorentz transformation. As a matter of fact, it was the study of the relativity problem which concentrated physicists' attention most sharply on the problem of change. That was when we first kind of woke up to this problem. Now, there are other symmetries, for example, of a different kind. We will talk about geometrical sort of kind. And there are others, for example, there's a symmetry which goes this way, that you can replace one atom for another.